We begin tonight with a judge who makes life-altering decisions for families and those with disabilities, now accused of making racist comments and using shocking, derogatory language. Thank you for joining us for 7 News Detroit at 6. I'm Mike Duffy. 7 investigator Heather Catallo joins us now with more about why an Oakland County probate judge has been removed from her docket. Heather?
Mike, a high-ranking probate court official says he's been recording Judge Kathleen Ryan's statements for years. Even though probate court administrator Edward Hutton says he's been harassed by Judge Ryan, he says he does not want this to be about him. Hutton says he's coming forward now because he wants to protect the people who have to face Judge Ryan in the courtroom.
The Honorable Kathleen Ryan presiding. Good morning. You may be seated.
After more than 13 years on the bench, Oakland County Chief Probate Pro Tem Judge Kathleen Ryan is out of her courtroom. Chief Probate Judge Linda Hallmark removed Judge Ryan from her docket last week, announcing that a complaint about internal allegations of unprofessional conduct was sent to the Judicial Tenure Commission. Judge Ryan was arrested in 2021 for domestic violence, but those charges were later dismissed. And now she's back in the headlines.
So if you're black from any other country, you're doing way better. If you're an American black person, then you're a lazy piece of.
The 7 investigators have obtained the recordings that county officials say prompted Judge Ryan's removal.
Oh, he's I have no use for him.
She's made it a living hell in the past 6 years. I mean, it's been terrible. It's cost me relationships. I think it's affected my health. Can't sleep.
Attorney Edward Hutton is the Oakland County Probate Court Administrator. He's in charge of running everything that's not under the judge's purview inside one of the state's largest probate courts. Hutton alleges Judge Ryan has been calling him both during work and after hours for years. And Hutton says during those hours and hours of calls, Judge Ryan said highly inappropriate things. Why did you start recording the calls?
I just felt like it wasn't going to change. And nothing's manipulated in it. It's conversations that I was a part of, and I'm absolutely willing to testify to the authenticity of every single one of them.
I can honestly say that, okay, I'm not systemically racist, I'm a new racist. I never was, but now I am because you're shoving the down my throat and making allegations that you don't know about. You're telling me who I am and you've never met me. You. You.
Hutton says the judge also used homophobic slurs about other elected officials.
You.
And that's not all.
A lot of times they were conversations about sexual encounters that she's having with various individuals. I mean, in intimate detail.
Hutton says for years he felt like he had to play along, and he says for years he was afraid to speak up.
I didn't want to lose my job, and I didn't want to be in her crosshairs. It's such a David and Goliath situation. I don't have the power. I'm not elected. I could get fired tomorrow.
On May 24th, Hutton says he sent Chief Judge Linda Hallmark a notice of sexual harassment.
For 3 months, nothing happened.
That's why on August 22nd, Hutton says he decided to send the recordings to the Chief Justice of the State Supreme Court, Oakland County Executive David Coulter, and other public officials. And he also contacted me.
I just want to make it right. I haven't filed a lawsuit. I'm not looking for a payday. I want to keep my job and do it in peace. And I want the people in Oakland County that come to court to get a fair shake, to have their day in court, to have an unbiased trier of fact.
In that email, Hutton said Judge Ryan, quote, has vocalized her hate and contempt for various protected groups. Once the recordings were shared with those state and county officials, Judge Ryan was removed from her docket. In a statement, County Executive Coulter said, quote, there is absolutely no place for harassment of any kind or for racist or homophobic language by anyone at Oakland County, especially by someone the public must be confident will act fairly and impartially. The alleged conduct and abhorrent comments made by Judge Ryan merited her removal from the probate court docket pending further investigation. Is Judge Ryan fit to be on the bench?
Absolutely not. Nobody with that much hate in their heart for certain people or certain groups of people, I don't believe that they could possibly make fair, unbiased decisions regarding them.
I did reach out to Judge Kathleen Ryan to talk to her about this. Her attorneys sent me this statement that says, quote, "We respect the authority of the Michigan Supreme Court. However, we look forward to vindicating Judge Ryan in the appropriate forum." I also spoke to probate judge Daniel O'Brien. He says Judge Ryan's friends are supporting her and believe these statements are totally out of character for her.
All right, certainly a lot here, but what's next with the Judicial Tenure Commission?
Well, they cannot confirm or deny whether they are pursuing an investigation. There has been some reporting that suggested that the complaint against the judge involved an inappropriate personal relationship. Hutton says that is not true. He says there was no physical contact. This was strictly a sexual harassment complaint about her alleged comments that started all of this. But again, he says the bigger issue here is what the judge says about people in protected classes, and he's hoping that that is what the JTC will focus on. So everybody's just sort of waiting to see what they will do.
And it sounds like this is in its early days. We know that you're going to stay on top of it, so
We will follow it.
Appreciate it.
Hello, welcome to episode 106 of Just My Opinion. And this one I'm entitling Gavel of Prejudice. Due to the recent suspension of Michigan Judge Kathleen Ryan, who made homophobic slurs and called black people lazy. A suburban Detroit judge is no longer handling cases in the Oakland County probate court over recordings of her making anti-gay slurs and reporting and saying that black people were lazy. Oakland County probate judge Kathleen Ryan was removed from her docket on August 27th for unspecified misconduct. Now the court has stated as several administrators have stepped forward and blew the whistle of her secret recordings of their phone calls. Probate judges in Michigan has handled wills in the states and guardianship cases that involve state mental laws, Judge Kathleen Ryan has stated unaware that she was being taped telephone calls that she's a systematic racist. She's a new racist. Ryan said that was elected in 2010. Now let's make this clear. There's no room for racism, period, in today's society. There's no room for it. But especially for someone who passed judgment over people's lives. We need that person to be clear, fair, and unbiased and unfeathered by their personal opinions and thoughts. We don't need anyone that is biased towards anyone due to their sexual preference, their race, religion, or ethnicity. We need this person, if you're a judge of any kind, whether it's civil, probate, criminal, we need you to be on a up and up, even kill, and make your judgments off of the evidence and not off of your racist and biased perception of people. We need you to be fair so that when you make these decisions, that is made fair and unbiased. I think the authorities in Michigan did what's best for the people of Michigan and the people of Oakland County. You can't give this person the ability to judge and render judgments over people and situations if they're not making it with an unbiased mind and without a fair and even mind. I believe this is just basically, if justice is blind, then you have to go into it with a fair and open mind. You can't make judgments over someone's life if you already have preconceived notions against anyone because of their race, religion, or their sexual preference. I think judges should be vetted more. Before you give them this high responsibility, it should be more of a process to vet them, to dig in their past and find these things out before they're put on the bench and they have this authority and power over people's lives and make decisions that affect people's lives. Because I would hate to go before her in court and she have a preconceived notion of me due to the fact that I'm African American, I'm Muslim, or whatever the case may be. She has that over my head, over my court case, and over my hearing. That I definitely don't want to do. How many people have she ruled on based on their religion, their race, or their sexual preference? Who didn't get the fair end of the stick? Who came out on the short end of the stick of a decision? Now what do you do? Do you go back and review all her cases to see if these people were treated fairly and decent and was given equal justice under the law? This is certainly something that if I was in a case and I had a judgment against her, I'd be putting it for an appeal. And there's certainly something to put the flashlight on judges and judicial system across the country. Especially in the probate situation, because you're the judge, jury, execution. It's not like the criminal case where you can have a jury trial. Civil and probate cases, I think, are mainly done by judges. I may be wrong. Don't quote me on it. It depends on the state that the case is held in. But I would want to go in court thinking I have a fair chance that's allotted to me under the Constitution of the United States. So when I go in there, there's no bias towards me. They're going to hear the facts, they're going to judge the facts, and make their decision based on and their judgment equally and fair based on the facts. Not because I'm African American or that I'm Muslim or whatever the case may be. About my religion, my sexual preference, or the color of my skin. This is a big, big, big problem. I applaud the authorities of Oakland counties that removed it from the bench, pending this investigation. They did the right thing. They acted accordingly to see to it that everyone goes in that courtroom. It's just given a fair shake. Can't allow these people with these preconceived bias towards anyone be the judge and jury over anyone. Thanks, like, share, and subscribe. Also, check out my podcast, His and Hers, at Maurice Bullock on YouTube. Also, shout out to Abu Saeed Amin. He does music for my outros and intros. Anybody want to get in contact with him for tip for beats or anything else? Abu Saeed Amin, Facebook and Instagram. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to Detour Originals, new fashion coming out soon. A friend of mine, anybody that's interested in purchasing a shirt, a hat, sweaters, socks, or whatever, Detour Originals at Detour Originals, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. Once again, Detour Originals. So support that. Thanks to YouTube for giving me an opportunity to be heard. Bye.
Boo.